Welcome everybody, bro.
I got the triple elimination medal.
Oke, nggak
Halo,
apa-apa kok.
welcome, bro.
Oke, nggak apa-apa kok.
Ambil pojokan sini aja, bro. Ya,
Help! Help!
bang. Bang, bro.
Help!
Tuh, nembak apa anjir, anjir.
Help!
anjir.
Help! Help!
Aku ganggu aja nih. Anjir. Ini gua aja, cok.
Don't give up. Your teammates can still recall me.
Banget lah. Sebenarnya
I'm recalling a teammate. Thanks. Help! Please recall me. I'm recalling a teammate. Thanks.
coba ambil piringnya lagi. Mau apa lagi?
I got supplies. Help!
Kenapa lu bang?
Bapak mantap.
Oh. Gile, gile. Dia datang anjing, buat kita. Gaspol bro. Let's go bro, ayo bro. Bang, bang. Anjir. Anu. Sudah dipencet kah? Harus. Jam nggak dipencet. Aja tanpa gelar.
Help! Help! Please recall me. Got it. I'm recalling a teammate. Thanks. Enemies ahead!
This ends now, Megatron.
Prime still breathes. How tedious.
Kabur dia, bro. Ku tak bisa. Kemanapun aku pergi. Udah, cok.
Don't give up. Please
Your
recall
teammates
me. Can still recall you.
Cok. Terbang. Ih. Ah, kemanapun.
Sebelah sini. Pergi ke zona aman.
Let's go! I need a muzzle. Enemies ahead! Enemies ahead! Enemies ahead!
against the teams. The more you're gonna stay away from the fight, the more it's going to be difficult at the end stages for you to like accumulate more and more points to get into the fights where everything is going to go chaotic.
Enemies
You're not
ahead.
going to be able to make it up with your speed and your reflexes like you would usually if you're taking the fights from early on stages. Nexori is another name. Near the hospital outskirts at the western side city of the Georgia Pool, getting the loot, the arsenal. So far, it is only luck that I can see into the minimap. So meaning the rest of the team, they might be on a different position, but which position are they on? This is a big question because not even into the remote close proximity, I'm seeing any name pop up.
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll find out once we see that feed starting to light up with chaos, carnage, and mayhem. In the meanwhile, Voin Donkey all the way over in towards Primorsk. A fortunate place here for them. They can go about getting their loot. We don't really see any other teams or squads within their area. Ooh, EA, or E-Arena rather, are going to be starting their day against the side of Alpha 7. Already packing in quite a bit of a punch to their players. Still looking pretty good with regards to those HP bars. Alpha 7 now just off in the distance, trying to hold on with what they have left, and that is only 2, right? They got Mafioso, and then of course they've got Squash Boo. Now, we've seen what those 2 players can do just in the previous match. Are they going to be able to continue, right? E-Arena, the absolute dominators so far here today, showing up with aggression, choosing to go pick a fight with every team they can find. They've got their eyes set now on Alpha 7.
They do. Alpha 7 is on the receiving end so far, as Arena secures 2 of their players' elimination, meaning that this momentum that Arena has started to gain for themselves again, even in this match, they're only making it more and more difficult for the other teams to like actually contest that top position against them, or even like contest against the other team because they're taking the majority of the points, even the head-on early points for themselves. And if it stays together, if it stays like this, it's definitely going to like hinder some of the performance for some of the teams. But there we go. One knockdown has also been done from the Alpha 7 side. The close quarter player, Turny K, he's on his knees. Squash Boo throwing all the utilities that he can possibly can, but oh my god, our receiving and utility, that's a lot of damage going on Squash Boo, coming back to his own team members. The rest of the teams of E-Arena, they will be slowly approaching the situation, assessing it up. Someone needs to get that revival done on towards the Turny K. Mafioso in the back lines, closing on, taking the fight. There we go, the second one of E-Arena. NC2 is right now knocked out. Someone is going from the Alpha 7 Mafioso to get that elimination done, but that grenade actually manages to take down the knocked out player into the confirmation. Now Mafioso, for some reason, his own team members wants to ram him down with the car, but there we go. They're actually going to utilize this opportunity, take a 1v3 on the Squash Boo side, and one last elimination on Mafioso makes it up to 4. E-Arena, the top contender team, now with just 2 eliminations to their name, is the first one to get eliminated.
Yep, that was Alpha 7 with a bit of a flex, showing that you don't need that many players to get some pretty decent elim points on board. And here we go now, as Voin Donkey is going to be targeting, or get targeted by, Fourth Thrives here. Here we go. Voin looking pretty battered and bruised, but that is not going to matter as they step up and send Fourth Thrives right back from whence they came, aka the lobby. DRX could look to capitalize also on a bit of an opportunity here, all the way over in towards Katka. DRX just moving on in towards Boom, and the hits are just lining up one after the other. But they're not alone, because Nexory is here as well. And now Demo getting dropped to their knees. It's up to Lucky to see if they can hold nice and steady. Nia is just going to peek all over the place, trying to line up those sides. Unfortunately, the reinforcements have arrived, but they've not arrived for Champion Esports, as they will be the next team getting sent away, rather.
Oh my god. That's where the aggression is coming from. It's a chain reaction. The lobby sees, okay, one team eliminated. Let's go. Let's get some more action done. DRX being one of the team that is right now close to the area where they have to take the fights and everything. But Boom Esports and Nexori, the two different teams against each other right now, getting those knockdowns, getting those eliminations. 2 eliminations for Nexori, but so far, Boom Esports, they also have the 2 eliminations. But Apex, no, the player that got the winner chicken dinner from the last match that secured it up, he has finally been eliminated, meaning the backbone almost of Nexori has finally been squashed away. So the rest of the 3 players, they have to devise something, devise a strategy, or go with that aggressive stances like their own team member Apex has done into the previous match against all of these players to get this party started. Luck so far, he's trying to climb this truck. No luck whatsoever. Come on, the player needs to go forward, but the grenades are coming, the damage is happening, and boom, Mastery is here, getting a player knocked down. The second one goes over, as well as Nexori is down to the very last guy, and Boom Esports comes in with the clutch, eliminating the name of Nexori back to the lobby. Number 12, they go out.
What a play we've now witnessed as well, Boom just going absolutely crazy, keeping true to the name. And just coming in with those big booms. But they are not out of the woods just yet, as we can see a few teams just going to be riding over towards the edge of that ridge. There's going to be Alpha 7 as well as DRX. Talents, though, going to be coming in with a little bit more of a northern rotation. And then, of course, ASI 8 now looking to occupy smack dab center zone.
Trying their level best, I have to say. They are doing their level best at this point in time. They have the centralized position of the circle. They're not gonna make too much fuss about it. They're gonna just chill out there, chill, stay, maybe take even a fight or 2 against maybe Alpha 7 as they're rotating close to their location. So they might be spraying down on them, making at least 1 player fall off their Sem9 onto the southern angle where they can take the fight against the DX, the Xaviers. There's Cellcom Diggy Alliance near the Void Donkeys outside of the safe zone area, maybe actually getting into the fight as well. And all of these names, Cellcom is another name that is on the second page, and they need to step up. They need to start aggressing on all of these players, all of these different teams, if they want to even secure a decent number of points as well for themselves. Because if they don't, somebody else is definitely gonna come, approach the situation, is gonna take that opportunity away from them. You only have the opportunity in your own hands to get those eliminations, to get those winner chicken dinner. You have to make sure that you're doing a very calculative game, a very precise game of how many points that you need and how well are you going to do against this specific team at this point in time. Alpha 7 losing another player, that's Mafioso, meaning Squash Boo, the last guy, is remaining for the team. And from what I can see, maybe ASI is the culprit to take down Mafioso at this point in time, or was that a different team?
Well, we'll find out. It is going to be Alpha 7 Mafioso currently down on their knees. It is going to be Squash Brew looking to defend, not quite seeing them being able to come through with much of a play at this point. Cellcom Diggy Alliance going to be looking to reach in onto the side here of DRX. Nia now trying to make a break for it. Opting for a little bit more of an western positioning. But I think for Alliance, this is a decent reach to have, as we have still a few teams looking to get themselves mobilized and moved up. Looking for their spot moving into this next phase. DX Xavier getting out of the cars now. It's going to be Leon that is going to be experiencing a lot of difficulty here as the shots continue to rain on down. It is going to be numbers now from Xavier trying to clear up that charge line as the Xavier pushes further and further on towards the western front. But as we've seen, Alliance, they have an MG3. So you want to be very, very careful. Don't want to risk it unnecessarily so.
It's super risky at this point. Every team is at risk. Look at DRX. They're just barely surviving. 7 total points. 4 thrives, they have been eliminated. Selcom Digi Alliance, Kinotrope, less than 10 points. These are the names up until top 12 with less than 10 points. Going into the 11th, Talon Esports, they have 14, DX 18, and One Donkey just secured 20 points after the first 4 elimination that they have into their name in this match. Talon Esports so far closing in near the Gutkar region. Now moving forward, let's see, Shield is here. Into the compound, close to the proximity is going to be ASI 8. There's SEM 9. So any one of these teams that is actually going to get into the fight, the third one may come in as a party takers, as the party poopers for the other teams at that point in time. So be very careful on who you contest with, who you engage with, and how you're going to utilize your compartments, your locations to take even that aggressive stance. But so far, I kind of want to see SEM 9. They have the 6th elimination. They did really good. They took a really good start in this match at the very least. ASI 8, yeah, they're kind of closed into the area, but they're not taking the fight. They're waiting for the circles to be made. Stage number 4 it is, and we're in top 11, meaning these top 11 teams, if the stage number 5 commences, stage number 5 closes down, and the circle goes to a very stalemate location, you will not have enough covers for yourself. Already, this is Gutkar region. It is a majority of the area completely open with barely having the tall grasses and those rocks for your cover.
Let's see if those rocks for coverage is going to be able to benefit anybody at this point, as there's still a lot of rotating coming through here. It is going to be A1 looking to maybe find a little slice of that action or a good position to move in towards, as they still have quite a bit of ground to try and cover here. Voin Donkey also just slowly but steadily moving in onto this eastern edge of the zone. Again, not looking too aggressive with how they're moving up, just ensuring that they don't have to be too stressed about that blue zone. In the meantime, it's A1, A7, having a bit of a countdown play going through. But not quite sure if Squash Brew is going to be able to get out of this one in one piece. A1 rather, looking like they mean business. They are here to have a party. They've not yet had any eliminations, but it is going to be Squash Brew that will break the ice for them.
It is him. He gets eliminated, and with this, Alpha 7 out of the game as well. Selcom in the meanwhile, we did see them take some fights, take some knockouts, and those aggressive stances, as well as one elimination to the name of Selcom Digi Alliance without the casualty. It's a great start. It's a start, but not that much of a great one for them. I'm not sure if it's a great one or not, but in general, it's not. Kinotrope in the front lines outside of the blue zone, taking that damage, trying to shoot at Selcom Digi Alliance on top of that. What is Kinotrope is doing, even though they're on a solo player, they're still not backing away from the fight. When Donkeys is in the closed area as well, closed line to the side of the Selcom Digi Alliance. If they want to, they can also engage this fight, but look at One Donkeys. They got a shot. They got a lot of damage on them. Kinotrope gets eliminated on the hashtag number 10. They go with one elimination, but no placement point whatsoever. Top 9 it is, ladies and gentlemen, with 29 players remaining. SEM 9, ASI 8, and Selcom Digi Alliance alongside of Talon and DX are the only names with full squads. Boom Esports staying outside right now of the safe zone area. SEM 9 somewhat, but I'm not sure why is Byron so far away from the team. This is not the way to go. If you're even trying to scout out the locations, you're supposed to scout inside the circle, not outside, not in this kind of like a location where if you're not careful, there's a team in the front line like D Xavier that can potentially take you down. On the backside, boom, they can take you down as well.
It's difficult to answer that question, but, you know, maybe Fyron is maybe feeling a bit hungry as they're making their way through chopsticks. I mean, I can see how that would be enticing, but hey, Boom is also just a little bit further west of that, so there could be an opportunity for a bit of a setup to be played there. SEM 9 now fully committing to getting themselves rather situated right here in chopsticks as Potato now gets picked on up. That is Voin Donkey out of here. Down to the final 8 teams we go. Boom now starting to commit to their positioning as well. DRX going to be joined in the lobby. But let's see whether or not Mastery and Zero can get themselves securely dipped into this bowl as they move up. Can't really see much heading in the direction there of Sem9. Salcom Diggy Alliance also going to be the next team to join, as we are now left with 6 squads remaining. Talon still going to be looking pretty confident up on towards the northern edge of the zone. But ASI-8, though, I mean, they've not taken any damage so far from what we can see. Those HP bars still looking pretty good. They might be cooking up a bit of a storm as they are now occupying the eastern side of zone, but also still somewhat removed, as is A1 Esports.
It is top 5. And majority of the teams, they have the full squads. Yeah, they are kind of kill hungry at this point in time. Talon being one of them, trying to take down the team Boom Esports altogether. With the throwables, they're not going to have any kind of connections onto the Boom so far. But Zero, he's also here for those eliminations as well. He's definitely going to take at least a 1 with him. And if anyone gets a knockdown through his hand, oh, be very careful. You're definitely getting a fully finished up in the second that you're going to get knocked out. But Yumiko, so far, in the chopsticks as well, waiting for the opportunity. Talon in the front lines, not making that move, not coming out completely into the open. Yes, they are coming out in the open, but just for the fact that you're trying to throw the utilities, trying to throw the grenades, but that is actually giving your location to the other team, to the other players into the proximity. But Shields now finally coming in there, so not 1, that's 2 players coming on. Boom, it's taking the fight, but not even a single connectivity coming up. It's over for Boom Esports on the number 5. Top 4 we go. Every single name is a full squad.
Now, this is the kind of party I'd love to be part of, as we can see the Xavier. They are the team locked in onto that southern position. But they're not alone, because they got Sem9 also kind of sharing the area with them here. Interesting, though, that Talon are outside of the zone as they start with a rotation. Going to try and squeeze up into that northeastern side, but this will be a golden opportunity now for the squad there of ASI-8 to spot them out and really focus in. Well, they're going to have to beat the side of Sem9 to that fight if they want to get this job done. Yumiko, as you've said numerous times before, an absolute beast when it comes to these plays. So let's see how this one pans out for them.
I mean, it's 4 versus 4 versus 4 versus 4. Everybody has their own location. Everybody has their own advantages, position, a safe side location for themselves. So it's all a matter of factor of time and the circle shift. Because this is the stage number 6, nobody's going to be like taking that much of the overextensive hands or the momentums. So we just have to wait for the circle to actually force the teams into the oblivion, into getting out in the total open. Then the fights are going to start. Whosoever is going to have the next circle, in fact, for themselves, they're going to be on an easy entry and easy elimination numbers. They're definitely going to have some decent points for themselves at the very least. But so far, what we are seeing, Talon Esports cooking those smokes, those grenades, throwing it up towards the Sem9's position, but nobody's getting shot. Nobody's getting that hit with that grenades. Even though they're very, very cautious, Talon Esports actually wants to push together against Team Sem9. They want to make sure that they're getting those eliminations, but a grenade comes in. Boyza gets knocked down, and right with this, Talon Esports, they are definitely going to lose their player. Boyza gets a finisher and a cull. He's low. A grenade comes over. He finally pushes forward. The DBS connects on one player, at the very least, instantly getting a knockdown on himself as well. Axel Shield, the only 2 players. Shield gets a knockdown with the grenade as well. And slowly and steadily, Axel comes into the play, in which case, Sem9 makes sure to make short work of the same guy as well, making every one of the players obliteration, getting that obliteration on them. It's over. Sem9 having 4 more eliminations with a total of 11 in their hand.
As quickly as they arrived, they left as well. Now it's going to be the Xavier still holding onto that southern side. We did see ASI-8 now focusing all their efforts down onto Sem9 as they move in quite aggressively, applying a very similar strategy to what we saw A1 doing all the way back in our first Erangel of the day. But now, ASI-8 look to get control of the zone. Casanova cooking up a few nades. Part of the welcoming committee as DX now comes rushing in. One down, but that is not going to carry over into more. As the rest of the utilities now come through, that is going to be Chow getting taken right on down. It is up to numbers.
Oh my god.
And Nade to see if they can survive the onslaught. ASI-8 very quick with the reaction here, just turning themselves nearly in their tracks. As there's now one player standing between them and control of the northern side of zone. But there we have it. DX Xavier done and dusted. Out they go. And actually, ASI-8 still have a 3-piece left, but they're going to have to be really quick on the reses because Sem9 wants a slice of the action.
Oh, they're definitely gonna come in. They know that there's a lot of casualties going around. Crypto with the 5 grenades now, waiting for the opportunity. But Sem9 is finally gonna deploy all of their utilities arsenal that they have into the same compound where Aaron and Josefa is residing right now. But Firen is gonna get taken down. Oh no, the situation has gone to a 3 versus 3. The grenade goes over. Yuhai gets a lot of damage. Another one from the hand of Crypto is gonna go in the Harry Potter tower. But no, on the backside, he gets a lot of damage on the player, but he's finally gonna heal himself. Back to the 75, the compound, the door opened up, it closed again. The Molotov will definitely do a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. It may be coming around for Yuhai, but he's surviving. He's alive. He is still there with the full HP that he healed himself into. Back to the outskirts he goes. Player Trexy, in fact, has been spotted. The spray is definitely going to go there. Iron is finally going to get a knockdown. It's a 2 versus 3 now from this point onwards. Sem9 down to the last 2. Yuhai, Yumiko. But Yumiko, as being still alive, there's still hope for the Sem9. But no, come on! Me and my big mouth. The moment I name Yumiko, Yumiko gets taken down. It's Yuhai all alone against all of these 3 elimination-hungry players of the team ASI-8. The shotgun is going to connect. The second shotgun is going to connect. The third player is in the front line. Crypto gets a lot of damage. Oh my god. This can be a potential 1v3, but finally the player is actually going to go eliminate all of those players. Heal himself, make Crypto come towards him. 4 bullets. 4 bullets. You only have this one chance of securing those eliminations of the players coming from the left side. You're also right in front of the players. Back to the 14 bullets. Back to the 14 bullets on both of these players. Healing on its way. Flashbang being thrown as well, but if that gets finished off as well, it's potentially a 1 versus 1. ASI, if they win, they get 10 elimination. If Sem9 wins, they get 14 eliminations for their side. The smoke goes over on one direction, making sure that the view is blocked. And from the front lines, Crypto gets the shot connected. Sem9 out of the match. ASI-8 with the winner chicken dinner of the match number 4 for themselves. 20 points into the play.
I mean, Crypto got tired of running around that wizard tower and decided it was time for a little bit of magic. Spotted the opportunity through the window and ended the match right there. What a play, though. ASI-8 coming out of, well, that eastern side, hitting so hard and locking in a victorious winner chicken dinner. Absolutely amazing stuff. You said that they were going to end on 10 eliminations, I believe that was. But what a play. Both our teams in the final 2 finishing strong, coming in with some pretty aggressive performances right here. But I think the big turning point for ASI-8 here was when they were kind of defending the edge positioning, right? Right when DX were kind of moving up onto the edge of the compound, trying to make their breach into that. And they just said, you know what, thank you so much for coming, but how about no? And instead, they just absolutely decimated them, took them down. Sem9 tried to capitalize on a very cheeky moment, but they couldn't live to tell the tale.
They definitely couldn't. They definitely couldn't. They were so close. They were so close, but suddenly they were so far away from the winner chicken dinner. But aside from that, going into the MVP, it is Yuhai, ladies and gentlemen. 7 elimination. 810 damage, 25 minutes. This match went on for 26 minutes at the very least. And out of that, 7 eliminations to the single guy of the SEM9. Even though they couldn't get the chicken dinner, they were super close. They still managed to name themselves into the MVP ranking at the very least. Match number 4, on the other hand, on the contrary, is done and dusted, meaning we're only down to the last 2 matches. The match ranking going on 20 points for ASI, but SEM9, they're like, we don't need that chicken dinner. We're still close to you on that total points. 19 for them with 13 elimination. Talon, 10 points, 7 for Boom, 6 for D Xavier, 5 for A1 alongside of One Donkey, Cellcom Diggy Alliance, 4 points alongside of DRX and Alpha 7 Esports. Nexori, E Arena, 2 points, Kinotrope, 4 thrives with only 1, and Champions, they were the first victims of this aggression in Erangel.
This is a little bit troubling looking at the overall performance that we saw coming through from 4 Thrives in this past match, but we'll get to that once we get to the second page. Here we are looking at the first page for the overall standings. As you can see, there is quite a bit of a gap now being created by our top 3 teams, 45, 40, and 36 points. I mean, Boom Esports, they're going to have to find quite a bit of an impact if they want to regain a little bit of that territory. Already moving up 1 point, which is not 1 slot rather, which is not bad for them. But SEM9 climbing 4 up into second place. D Xavier as well as Talon also with a beautiful upward trend. Nextory, as I said, they didn't have a good game so far in this last match, only walking away with 2 points. The same can be said there for E Arena, and as a result, they are going to be heading a little bit further down the overall standings. Same could be happening on the side there for Champions, but Talon, D Xavier, A1, Boom, SEM9, and ASI8 doing phenomenal work as they've now just looked to solidify their overall positioning here. Taking a look at the second page, this is where it gets a little bit troubling, right? 4 Thrives for 2 games now. They've not been able to secure good points, right? Hitting low figures.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to find something as they come into our final Murmur of the day, because that's what's coming up next. Game number 5 is going to be the last opportunity on Murmur for 4 Thrives to secure points and potentially contest for the top 4. The longer they wait, the more challenging it is going to be to gain that entry.
I mean, this is the time for the bottom line teams to actually start going fully aggressive on every single one of the teams, even though you're not able to like secure those points for yourself into a slow and cautious gameplay. Why not try? Why not just try to go for an aggressive stance, try to get as many points as you can in the early stages? Because if the survival is not working for you, maybe the aggression will, maybe a different approach will. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, before heading into the match number 5, we will be going into a short break segment. Stay here, stay connected with us, and enjoy the highlights.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready to move into game number 5. Of course, this is going to be our final Miramar to see who will be locked into the top 9. Only 9 teams will move through into the grand final. So this is the last opportunity. If you enjoy playing on the map of Miramar, this is your game. This is the opportunity, the angle, the chance, and I'm not quite sure why I said angle, but hey, we'll go with it, for the teams to do what they need to do to secure the points. And of course, time is running out. So for the teams situated a little bit further down the overall standings, coming in with not necessarily a high tally of points, they got to try and bag whatever they can. And I mean, currently the difference between 9th and 10th place is none, right? Both teams are sitting on 23 points apiece. So if you're Champions Esports, you got to be a little bit stressed because, I mean, you can get overtaken by Alpha 7 at any point in this next game.
I mean, these 2 games, the next 2 games, they're super crucial, no matter how you look at it. From this point onward, the bottom line teams, they can use the strategy of completely going like on the aggressive stance. They can completely go and decimate the lobby. They will have nothing to lose, but have everything to gain at this point in time. Getting into the top 9 is the only goal for these teams today, for the single day of the action. So whatever they're doing, if it's not working, try changing it up. Try cranking the violence a little bit, because violence has solved everything at this point. You need those crucial elimination points, because just the chicken dinner alone, even if you survive, get the chicken dinner, it's not going to help you. It's not going to get you into the top 9. You need that violent number of elimination, like 10, maybe 10, 12, 15 eliminations, like Arena did with a single match from the very bottom of the page. They managed to secure themselves into the first chart at a very, very high pace in time. But yes, this is the match number 5, the second last match of the survival side of the final chance, final chance survival. So whatever these teams are doing, they have to crank that aggression, that strategy up a notch to 100% from this point onward, because there is no room for whatsoever mistake. You have already mentioned that number 9 and number 10, they are absolutely on the same equal points. At any point in time, a single wrong move will mean that number 10 will go into the number 9, maybe number 9 will go into the 10, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, so, and that trend continues up the board, right? Because we've got 2 teams on 23, 2 teams on 24, 2 teams on 25 points. So there's a lot riding on these last 2 games, right? So if A1, Nexry, DXavier, Talon, Champion Esports, and Alpha 7 want to be in the top 9, they can, but it's going to cause a very hairy engagement between all the involved teams. And of course, speaking about which, it is time to go, as we'll be making our way over on towards Miramar, taking a look at the flight path, starting us up in the north, close to El Pozo, and heading all the way down just to the edge there of Los Higos. So somewhat of a slightly restricted flight path here for the teams, especially if they want to go to places like Torre Ahumada, Cruz del Valle, even El Azhar, right? It is going to be a little bit more of a challenging rotation, and I could see a few teams potentially maybe fighting over the vehicles available down below.
I mean, yeah, you can go for that aggressive in this, because I think it's almost the same plane line as the last one, because it was going from Los Higos up to the top near the local area. Now it's going from the trailer park all the way down to the Los Higos angle. So the teams are kind of in a position where they do need to like go for the aggressive stances, but the circle first of all is going to determine whether you're going to stay in your like territorial areas, the plane line areas, or you're going to have to take a very long detour, find cars, get into the circle, take the fights alongside of the way, and that kind of stuff. DRX changing their placements, like one player is a solo, Big Papa going near the Void Donkeys, the rest of the teams you can see that, but oh my goodness, the circle, it's going to be hard for these teams right here going into the area of the eastern corner.
Yeah, well, eastern corner is not necessarily a bad one, especially when you're looking at circles, right? Because every corner in a circle is very well rounded. and that helps quite a bit, right? So I think it's the best thing if you're getting chased, just run into the corner, and then they won't get trapped because, well, circles don't have corners. But we do see quite a bit of action already right out of the gate as well, Gayan already lost 2 of their players, right? So, yeah, a very aggressive start here onto the side of Kinotrope. Not quite sure what that was, but they did find themselves, I'd say, in a little bit of a hot and sticky situation. Speaking about hot and sticky, Via Del Mar is where it will continue as Champions Esports. As I said, the gatekeepers of the top 9 now look to defend their overall position already with 3 eliminations on the board. Could they find the 4th? Will they get the full squad wipe at the expense here of Kinotrope?
Kinotrope in the front lines. That's 3 down, the last 1 to go, and there goes the Uzi. Gets the final nail in the coffin. Getting into the car, making it a super one, and finally getting their hands on the first full team elimination. Champions without the casualty, getting that elimination definitely is going to help them because not only they're in the top 5 right now, it's going to help them secure some more points, stay in this match in the top 9, at least for this match from this point onward. But aside from that, going to Nexori. Nexori is another team closer to the overall ranking of the champions. 25 with 1 elimination. There we go. Demo OG in the front lines against M9. The damage is being done. Demo OG healing himself. A grenade is being cooked, and this one is definitely going to connect. The player gets a knockdown, and Demo OG with this from the Nexori is receiving a heavy casualties. Now it's only the last guy of the Nexori's player that's giving that revive. Okay, there we go. Luck has finally been revived. He has finally been rejuvenated. But Baga, O-double-line-O, let's see. First grenade, then a Uzi spray. No connection. 21 bullets only on this UMP-45. Gets a 1 knockdown on Trexy. Gets the damage done upon on the players. The shotguns, the M4s are not working. He gets the knife out, but no! Misses that. A knife connection just by a bit. Now, come on. Go forward. Get that final nail in the coffin. Use the other gun, but the backside spray comes into the play, and SM9 gets those eliminations for themselves, and no casualty whatsoever.
I mean, what a step up this was by Sem9. Absolutely crazy. Nexori thought they could have this one maybe in the bag. I was almost convinced that that knife stab was going to work, but unfortunately, it didn't really pan out the way that they would have hoped. Now, 4 Thrives also right here in exactly the same spot up in towards Monte Nuevo. How will this go? I don't know if Sem9 is even aware that one of 4 Thrives players are still alive, still holding steady. You got to give it up to Sem9, though. The overall coverage and support that they've been showing for their teammates here, absolutely amazing, right? Just so on point here with the performance. Let's see. Are they going to be able to find it, though? I mean, if they score 1 more elimination, that would put them currently up in pole position, which is occupied by ASI 8. Now, Sem9 doing their due diligence, clearing out every single building. Maybe they'll be able to find the final 4 Thrive player here, but we don't quite know.
We don't quite know yet. We don't know what's going to happen, who's going to have those elimination and points. It's the solo guy of the 4 Thrives, but Sem9 in the front lines. They just took down a full-fledged team of Nexori at this particular location, but still, 4 Thrives is just chilling. Nobody knows their location. And this is definitely going to be one of the situations where you're going to have a very big surprise that, okay, you were here. I did not see you at that point in time. And that's exactly what's going to happen. He misses the shot. No! He misses the first shot. He misses that crucial connection that would have been demise of at least one player of the Sem9. But now Sem9 knows exactly where the enemy is, where the players are. The grenade is going to go. It's going to take 4 Thrives out right there. And then on hashtag number 13, 4 Thrives has finally been thrown back to the lobby and back to the very bottom of the leaderboard.
Yeah, it's not a nice place to be. It's not a nice place to be. I definitely was expecting 4 Thrive to at least finish much further up on those standings. but it's all going to come down to one match. Are they going to be able to get a winner chicken dinner in the final game? Well, it's to be seen. If they do, there might still be a slight glimmer of hope for them. In the meanwhile, it is going to be E-Arena now frantically searching to see if they can find ASI8. I mean, currently, there's only a few points standing between both these squads. 7 points to be exact. Now the timer is ticking. Casanova waiting steadily, can hear all the footsteps around them. Not going to be looking to move just yet, but there could be quite a bit of a saving grace here now with the Salcom Diggy Alliance sneaking on in. This could be quite a bit of an opener. As long as ASI8 keep themselves quiet, this distraction could actually buy them quite a bit of time.
That definitely can. That distraction can buy them a slight bit of time, but the main question still remains: will ASI8 stay quiet? This is the big chance. This is a big question. But E-Arena, so far, with 3 eliminations to their name, they're close to the fight, but not taking it whatsoever. So come to the Alliance. They want to push, they want to aggress, but look at Josefa into the backside. He can do a third party on these players, but Joker, he's low. He did a lot. He got a lot of damage. ASK yet Casanova from the backside comes in, takes down one of the Arena's players. Turney K gets finished off in an instant. Joker now looking up on the top. He sees the foot of a Celcom Digi Alliance's cry out. He's a player, but NC2 moving forward, sprays on ASI8. There's a lot of damage already being done on the player. You just need to go. You just need to get one more bullet connection. That's going to be enough. That's going to be it. But E-Arena is also down to the very last guy. Now he's going to take the KM. He's going to get that shot connected. Casanova gets a knockdown. It's a confirmation. And with this, ASI8 is going to lose one of their players. But Celcom Digi Alliance, I have to give it to them. This gives them enough momentum to come forward, take all the players that are knocked down of the E-Arena, get them fully finished up. And slowly and steadily, you can make your way to the rest of the players of the NC2 and the ASI8 as well.
Yeah, realistically, there's an opportunity for all the teams still alive that are not within the top 9, right? DRX, if they play a beautiful game, they could really look to catapult themselves up, but it does seem like Salcom Digi Alliance are going to be trying exactly that. As we can see, they came into this match with 13 points, now already adding 1 additional elimination to their tally. Gotta watch out for these sprays, though. It's going to be NC2 now, just patiently awaiting some kind of a result. Fortunately for them, Salcom Digi Alliance is in the wrong building, so they will manage to hold on a little while longer. So a decent spread across the board, though. It's going to be more than the next one to fall. So E-Arena losing players left, right, and center. We've got another squad now rolling up as well. And the carnage is not going to stop anytime soon. I think that is C1. Yep, that is C1 that we have way off in the distance now, starting to encroach the zone rather, not the zone. I don't know what the zone is, Torix, but the zone definitely has moved a little bit further up on towards the north. Maybe they'll go zooming into the zone. That's probably where I was taking that one.
I mean, I do want to see the zone as well, because all of these teams right now, Arena, ASI, the champions, everybody's outside the circle right now. They're taking the blue damage, but look at the kill feed. Boom Esports, A1 Esports, taking the fight. And on top of that, not only they're taking the fight, they're actually inside that circle. Boom is going to lose one of the players, but staying on the top 4 that they are, it's an easy, I'd say, qualification for them if they just stay consistent in the very least. But ERK for ST, he finally gets a knockdown. It's a confirmation to the champions' player. 966, he's on the domination. Celcom Digi Alliance finally stepping up, I have to say, with 3 eliminations so far to their name. It's a slow and steady start for this team, but you have to make sure that even if you're on the 12 right now, you make enough points to secure the top 9 at least in this game, so you can actually hope to know how many points you need to constantly secure for yourself to get that decent number of placements. to be into the top 9 even after the 6th match whatsoever. But the circle, it has gone to the northern side. It's a barren land. DK, this is a barren land. This is the high probability, high elimination land where everyone's going to be super out in the open, and anyone who spots someone, it's an instant elimination of that single guy.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough one, especially looking at the angles that we saw coming through there from Voin Donkey. Beautiful elevation that they have to leverage, but we'll find out soon whether or not that is going to bode well for them. In the meanwhile, it is going to be a little bit of that blue juice party happening here, right? 3 squads holding out ASI8, E Arena, and then, of course, Cellcom Digi Alliance. All of them being quite reluctant to rotate up so far. Now, it's going to be D Xavier, the next team, to get taken out of here. Alpha 7 locking in the points. As I mentioned before, they were one of those contenders to kind of be the gatekeepers or the deciders for the top 9. Currently, well within the 6th position. So those 4 eliminations going a long, long way so far. Pressure is on, though. Point Donkey, 21 points, sitting in 11th. They're going to have to do something over here, and there we have it. It is going to be Champions Esports now, looking to rush on forward, locking in yet another elimination. Now currently up to 6, and they could be knocking on the doors of doom or boom here.
Oh my god, this is not looking good whatsoever. No way. But yeah, 6 elimination to the champions. Cellcom Digi Alliance in the front line, the solo player, they were so good. They were doing so good, and suddenly, not anymore. Cellcom Digi Alliance gets eliminated by Atomic. IAM's Atomic Grenade. A beautiful elimination right there, but ASI8, they still want to contest. They still want to take the fight against the single guy. And being on the clothesline area, look at that. It's a face-to-face fight. The S12K, the DBS, it's going to win it our. Atomic is not only just going to take Cellcom Digi Alliance out of this proximity, but also ASI8. Top 9 it is, ladies and gentlemen. From this point onward, we are seeing 8 elimination for the team, for the name of champions. E-Arena still staying outside of the circle. Alpha 7, who is in the circle, is also trying to take the fight in the long vicinity.
Yeah, A1 just there ahead of them now, trying to play a little bit of catch up here. They came in leading ahead of Alpha 7, but the aggression on the side of Alpha 7 has awarded them currently that 6th position. We are 1 slot away from placement point territory, so let's see who will be the next team to fall to get sent back with only their eliminations. The answer is E-Arena. 3 points. That is all they have to show for this game. But they are in 3rd place currently, so not too much to be stressed about. Champions, though, 9 eliminations up. If they get 1 more point, they'll be sitting on 34. So they still have a bit of a way to go. But this is where the placement points lend quite a bit of a helping hand. Boom Esports, they've not found anything so far for this game. Starting off with 30 points to represent. It doesn't seem like they are finding any opportunities available just yet. We are seeing champions, though. They've lost one of their players to the blue. The next one could fall very, very soon, but it is going to be Alpha 7 and Talon now starting to go at each other's throats.
I mean, yeah, this is absolutely what is happening at this point in time. We are seeing a lot of aggressions going around from this point onward. There's definitely going to be some of the momentums that the teams will be needing to take up for themselves. But so far, what I'm seeing is Talon Esports versus Voin Donkeys. It's happening. The shots, the connectivity, it definitely did connect. And Talon Esports is their first elimination so far, but not the very last. This is just the start for the team. Champions Esports gets eliminated on the hashtag number 8 with 9 eliminations. There's A1, Alpha 7, all these different names, all these different teams taking the fight yet again, yet against each other. And the amount of radius that the circle has to say number 4, I can already assume it's going to be super small, but judging from the number of the teams that are alive in this, okay, it's still viable and it's still like somewhat big compared to the number. But look at the minimap. Look at the minimap. There's 3 teams into the same line, and anyone who's gonna make a mistake, that player will be getting an elimination.
Well, let's see who will be the ones to bag it. DRX still have a golden opportunity available to them here. They've got 12 points up. Still a full lobby of 21 other players to contest again. So let's see what their approach will be here. So far, we've not seen much of them for this match. I don't actually even know where they are on the map. We'll find out soon. Last time we saw them, they were all the way up towards the north. For the time being, it is going to be Alpha 7 looking to apply a little bit of pressure here onto the side of A1. Also, Talon, I believe, is in the mix there as well. So Alpha 7 now continuously riding the ridgeline. Up and down they go. Revo frantically searching for any available opportunity, trying to taunt out the side there of Talon. They have received a few welcoming sprays. But is this now going to be that opportunity for Revo to call in the rest of the team as they're trying to ensure that the space is actually clear for them to move into?
I mean, one thing they have to be very picky of is the position that they're going to finally have inside of that circle, because the circle has gone to the northern side. Sem9 versus Boom Esports, and that is one thing that we're definitely going to see happen. But Alpha 7, Talon Esports, the one that is kind of close into the area outside of the circle, that's a fight to also witness, because nobody's going to be allowing the other team, the other one, to move inside of that circle unscathed. There's also one donkeys going on to the northern areas from the very western corner, taking a long rotation. But Trexy is going to be there, and he might just hold down the fort against these players at that point in time. But Alpha 7, talking about him, Revo, so far, he has spotted down the players of the Talon. No connection, no fire whatsoever, and he's just chilling out there, just running into the open side area. But there we go. Talon Esports finally receiving some damage. They're going to get the damage. Another one coming into the way from Rebel side. No connectivity whatsoever. But still, this is the moment. I would say Alpha 7, instead of getting engaged into the fight, you have to find your way inside the circle, inside the safe zone of the circle, then start to take the fight against a different team. But One Donkeys versus Talon Esports, ladies and gentlemen. It has finally started. The shots, the fire, the aggression, it's happening right there. And then in Talon Esports, oh my god, no way. That's a lot of damage going around. Talon Esports is down to the last guy. That is Alex taking the fight, getting a lot of damage on the One Donkeys player, but not enough as the final guy right here, Gaycore, into the area, gets the nail in the coffin, even though there was one more guy, Machi. He was outside of the play zone. So there was only Gaycore alive in this vicinity that could have been the detrimental one, and he was the detrimental one. He manages to secure that elimination.
Well, so far, Point Donkey not quite out of it just yet, right? We still see a bit of an opportunity available to them as they are trying to get their players all back up on their feet. This could return them to a full 3-piece, but you got to be very cautious of that zone closure, as well as Alpha 7 just holding on the ridgeline. But now, DRX, we've eventually found them. They are locked into the compound just towards that western front. Alpha 7 getting ready to get cooking here. We've got Sem9 also up towards the north. So this is going to be an absolute chaotic showdown, as there are 4 squads now trying to vie for control of the western front. Point Donkey now almost coming under a little bit of fire there. Squash Boone not being able to lock in those sprays just yet. But you also got to watch out for that vehicle that could go up in flames. That is like a moving bomb right there. Now it's going to be Mochi just reaching over the ridge line, walking into Squash Brew. Carrillo also keeping a nice little bit of overwatch, looking to see if they can provide the necessary coverage. Revo coming in clutch all the way from up on the ridge. This could be that play now for Alpha 7 to turn the whole entire thing on its head. 8 eliminations already to their name. Right, so the jump is there. As you can see, Razak now getting absolutely picked apart. The full send is up. Gaycore, the last one left, and down they go. Voin Donkey out in 6th place. Only 4 eliminations to their name. Alpha 7 now looking pretty good here, hitting them double digits. Boom on 0. DRX on 0. And it is going to be A1 sitting with 1 elimination to their name. Sem9 going through with 6 eliminations. Still looking pretty strong with a full squad up, as we can see them now taking good occupancy of that northern territory. But how are they going to look to play through the zone? You got Yumiko just on the very edge, as we can see up on that mini-map. Sem9 yet to make any decisive rotations here. They do have a few potential angles already secured within the zone, but leaving the scouts just on the outside. For the time being, DRX are going to be looking to move through, waiting for a few potential angles now to try and capitalize on at least something. Because for the time being, there's not really all too much happening on their front. They've not had any points. The only thing that they have to capitalize on for this time is going to be placement points, but that is not going to be enough. If they want to make a play for the top 9, they're going to have to get aggressive. They're going to have to secure some elimination points. Now we wait. Nia finds a bit of an angle. Gets a bit of a spray. Sem9 now out in the blue. They're going to have to rotate up. At least that is Yumiko. The rest of the squad, as we can see, already taking a completely different approach here. DRX now starting to wake up. Had enough time to plan their strategy. Now it is time to go. They'll have to strike if they have their eyes set on a top 9 finish. Placement points could definitely go a long way for them here as well. Nia and the rest of DRX not getting the sprays that they are hoping for, but making noise is going to attract the attention here of Alpha 7. Yumiko, so just inching their way onto the side here. Boom Esports, meanwhile, getting caught over on towards that eastern side. Now could fall victim to the Sem9 spray down. You can see Yumi and the rest of the team there from Boom slowly approaching, but it is going to be somewhat of an uphill battle. No secure angles to hide in. No crazy coverage to really utilize at this point. It is going to be ridge lines to use as they move on up. 0 dipping down in the hill, down in the valley rather. But a good read coming through here from Sem9. Yumiko quick to fall back. Ooh, Pondbit just holding a steady overlook positioning. But Boom almost tempting fate a little bit here as they're just riding the ridge, continuously going back and forth. Same can be said here for Sem9, though. Also not necessarily getting all too aggressive just yet, but it's going to be A1, the next team to fall, as we move down to our final 4. A1 out with 1 elimination and only currently 2 squads securely positioned within the zone. It is going to be Boom as well as DRX. Alpha 7 all the way on that far southern side, getting ready to move on forward. Sem9 still very focused on the edge. I don't know if they've noticed the other players from Boom rotating up right alongside them. But we'll find out soon what the approach is. Alpha 7 are committing to their zone position as they move on in. Boom trying frantically to find a good angle. Trying to plan that approach, that assault onto the side here of Sem9. But no team wants to be the next team to fall. Alpha 7 already with 12 eliminations up. Boom are yet to secure anything. So far, this game has cost them quite a bit. They've lost one of their players and their health bars aren't looking too great. Sem9 now hungry for even more points. They don't need it, but they want it. As they get ready for the charge now, taking their approach. Up they come, starting to move. Oh, it's going to be a full send in the direction there of DRX. Boom, still quite hesitant. Now trying to keep it nice and quiet. And play that silent approach. Engaging their full stealth mode. Well, it can only be so stealthy with a vehicle rushing right on up. It is going to be a full send onto Trexie here from Sem9. The first play is in. Going for the confirmation. There we go. They are bringing points on board. Now they got to follow through. Got to keep on pushing. Not out of the woods just yet. Yumi did take quite a bit of damage. Oh, so much so that they will get knocked out if somebody coughs too loudly. And now, Boom need to try and figure out how will they make it out of this one. The blue zone is going to be applying even more pressure to them. Alpha 7 not making it any easier as they continue to push in. Zero quickly having to patch themselves up. DRX also still waiting to get a little bit of something happening here. They have though at least secured their first point. Same 9 now, potentially down to a 2-piece, unless of course they can get those bars fixed. They do so, but there comes the pressure, there comes the plays. Bonbit now sending it out, gets yet another knock up into the side here of Sem 9. It is going to be a full send from the side here of Boom, as they try to kind of leapfrog their way up into the zone. Playing for a viable area. But as you can see, there is not much to work with here. Very vulnerable rotation as they start to move on up. Got to watch for that A7 positioning. Sem 9. DRS still going at it. No clear line of sights coming in on the side here of Boom Esports. Fonbit, no. Just making sure that they have decent boosts going. Should any shots come in their direction, they have a little bit of a buffer set up. DRX now going to get pressured into making some kind of a commitment here. Sem 9 patiently waiting, just setting up a bit of a trap here ahead of them. But that zone is closing on forward, and we are going to hit stage number 9 in a few seconds. Fire now trying to get a good read. Trying to figure out where the next move is going to come from. DRX now waking up as they start to move on forward. Big Papa does take quite a bit of damage, but QZZ does send out a beautiful nade now, finding Firen. And up comes that blue zone closure. Stage number 9 is going to be absolutely relentless. It will take no victims, ask no questions, just cause absolute carnage. Firen now going to be the next one to fall. Yuhai falls with their team, and down they go. The final 3 squads now left to fight it out for that winner chicken dinner. Alpha 7 now deciding to move up here as they start sending out the utilities, trying to reach across the way, trying to blaze a path for them to move on forward. DRX, the only squad still left with a full 4-piece. A little bit late to the party, but they've been able to secure themselves 4 eliminations. A quick, sneaky, cheeky flashbang coming in here. Does upset a few things on the side here of Boom, but not sufficiently so for Alpha 7 or Boom to get the, rather DRX to get the jump in on them. Alpha 7, they are relentless though. 12 eliminations up already, and they are not going to stop with that. They lock in their 13th elim. Quick opportunity over the ridge, and that is the end of Boom. Down to the final 2 we go. It is a 3v4 showdown to see who will be the one to clutch it out. 7 eliminations now for the side here of DRX. Alpha 7 coming through on 13, but they are absolutely battered and bruised as DRX sneak on their way up into the zone, getting their hands on that winner chicken dinner, waiting till the very last moment to swing into action. What an absolutely phenomenal comeback that has been from the side of them. Insane performance. DRX coming in clutch, getting that glorious winner chicken dinner. And I guess it pays off to just wait a little while. Of course, a very similar approach to what we saw A1 doing all the way back in our first Erangale. But so far, this has been an insane final Miramar.
It has been, and oh my god, DRX, so with that chicken dinner, it is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the match number 5, meaning only one more step to go, one more step left for the teams to be into the top 9, whether they will, whether they will not, it's only going to determined by this singular match, the single game that we will witness in a short while. But so far, talking about the winners of this match at the very least, DRX. Moving on, it is the MVP Revo from Alpha 7. 5 elimination, but double the damage of its elimination with 25 minutes of survival time. This guy is going on insane. He has been insane in this match. 5 eliminations with 1,000 damage, double the damage, 2 times. Somewhere in this between, he got his maybe eliminations stolen as well. So whatever he's doing good. He's doing good. Going into the match ranking, it is 19 total points for DRX. 19 points, Alpha 7, even though they were on the hashtag number 2. Still, with the 13 elimination that they managed to secure himself, they got 19 total points as well. Sem9 with 10 alongside of Champions, Boom Esports with 6, 6 for the Wine Donkeys, A1 with 4 alongside of Celcom Digi Alliance, 3 for Arena, Talent 2 alongside of ASI 8, 4th Rides 1 alongside of Nexori, but D Xavier and Keynote Rope, the 2 teams with the donuts.
Yep, someone's got to take a stop at the bakery, but hey, you know, what a performance Alpha 7 brought to the battlefield. But you also got to commend Boom and DRX. I don't quite sure what the initial plan was, because both of them kept it quiet all the way to stage 7 before they decided to do something. Then they woke up with a vengeance, came in swinging. And of course, well, look at where they ended up. DRX climbing 6 slots. Alpha 7 climbing 7 slots up into 3rd and 7th place, respectively.
I mean, that is for sure. We are definitely seeing these names doing a very great gameplay and everything for themselves. But aside from that, talking about all of these effects and figurines, it is still Wine Donkeys climbing up from the 2nd chart to this chart number 1. 27 is the lowest end point for the page number 1 to actually like commence and take those fights. But going into the page number 2, it is Nexori, 26 for the Talent, 24 for the D Xaviers, Celcom Digi Alliance. Still nothing, even though they did manage to secure some decent number of eliminations. The amount of placement that they have for themselves there, they have lost yet another placement position for themselves. So whatever they're doing, they have to like step up the notch, because this thing is not working for them. But today's matches, 5 matches done and dusted. Sem9, A1, Nexori, ASI8, and DRX.
Well, pretty crazy showing that we've seen so far. But of course, as we saw in the overall rankings, it's all going to boil down to the very last match. 3 teams really close to regaining a bit of that territory, to bouncing back into the top 9. But it's all going to come down to who wants it the most.
Well, we do have to see who's going to be the one to take the points. The most point in this, at least, final match of the day of the survival, the final chance for the teams. After that, we will have our top 9 contenders who will be moving forward, who will be going into the grand finals. But yes, before any of that sort of action happens, we do have to take a very short break, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere. Stay here with us till the very end, until we announce our top 9s, and we will see you after this small highlight break before going into the very final one.
Here we go, getting ready to hop straight into the action. Of course, it is the final match right here in the last chance for the Asia Showdown Season 3 to see which 9 teams will be making it into the grand finals. Of course, now we are going to be moving down with our flight path, starting up in Stolba, heading down to the Sosnovka military base. But it is going to be a very hairy fight indeed. Only a few teams will make it through, and we've got a few strong contenders that could be knocking on the door. That is going to be Nexary, Talon, as well as D Xavier, that need 3 points at the very most. 4 points if you want to be a little bit more precise to make it all the way up into that top 9. But Voin Donkey, as well as A1, DRX, and Champion Esports, they are going to look to defend that gateway. They will not look to allow any other teams to catch them and potentially even surpass them with regards to those points. So the pressure is going to be on. The pressure is going to be high. Who will be the ones to get it? Well, we don't know. That's what we are here to find out. So, of course, now it is going to be a pretty tough play. We are waiting to see where that zone is going to be taking us. And it takes us yet again over to that western beautifully onto Pachinki and the surrounding area. So curious to see exactly how the teams are going to look to get themselves situated and where they're going to look to rotate towards. Of course, we are going to be starting it off right here with Carrillo. So Alpha 7 find themselves up in towards the prison area. Also slightly up in towards Lapovka, but we did see A1 sharing that drop with them, so there could be a little bit of that early game fighting breaking up between the two. So for now, we wait and see. Oh, there we go. Luck is on the side there of Nexary as the pistol, or the rifle, or rather the revolver, comes in clutch. It is going to allow a little bit of an opener then to be brought onto the battleground here. Let's see who will be the one to get it. Carrillo now looking pretty unfazed. Nothing really going on. As you can see, Alpha 7 going about their business. So they're going to try and lock it down, right? They are well within the top 9. Currently sat in 3rd place, so they are not necessarily in need of points. But it's going to be up to the rest of the lobby to see what they can do here. Of course, E-Arena going to be suffering a bit of a knock here. Fortunately for them, it has not been converted into one of their players getting taken down. But Tony K is right there and looking to get their teammates back into the fight.
That's absolutely true. So far, it is Arena's one player that has been taken down, but so is Champions Esports. The Balja, he has been completely finished off. He has been annihilated from this match, so only 3 more players are remaining. That is Atomic, that is Keno, there is ERK4ST at that point, and one of them, in fact, in all of this scenario, has a horse. He has a horse. He's going from one direction to another and kind of closing in to a different team. DRX is close to this area, and coming here all alone means only 2 things. Either you want to take those aggression against that team, or if they see you, then you're not going to be able to survive. And on top of that horse, you're on the horse, you're instantly like completely open for all the direction of the fire that can actually occur at you.
Yeah, it is going to be a very hot and sweaty play to try and kind of keep that momentum going. A horse is to some extent a nice little bit of a stealth animal to use, or stealth transport method to try and capitalize upon, as the players, the opposing teams don't necessarily hear you coming. But for now, it is going to be Rozok. We will be focusing. We do see a little bit of movement coming through there from Sem9, just down towards that southern side. Of course, Nexary also going to be holding over on towards that western front. So the pressure is there. Nexary being one of those teams that need to really up their performance in this game. So they are going to play one of 2 strategies. Either they're going to try and take it nice and quiet, which doesn't seem to be the case because they just lost another player, or they need to get aggressive and just go out and start hunting, right? Realistically speaking, though, I think they might opt to take a little bit more of a passive approach here. I mean, they do have Apex still up, so Apex could definitely cause a few problems along the way, but we don't quite know if that is going to work out for them.
I mean, this is the question now, how it's gonna work out for them, because this is the final game, and I just love the fact that everyone knows the intensity of this final game. They're instantly like, okay, we have to be very careful on how we're gonna play this match. We can't be over aggressive on at any point in time. Top 9, it is 50 to 27 points, but going into the top 10, it is Nexori 26 for the Talons as well. DX has 24, and Cellcom Digi Alliance has also 17 points. It's just a matter of factor of that singular chicken dinner, WWCD, that will determine one of these players going up on the leaderboard, maybe more than that, and some of them going down from the top 9 all the way to the second chart, where they will not be going into the grand final. But here we go, Champions Esports versus DRX. It has finally occurred. It has finally started as DRX taken one player, Kino down. Atomic is the final hope of the team, getting a damage on the players. Big Papa getting knocked out. This is the opportunity. Atomic confirmed that knockout somehow, confirmed that elimination, but he's more focused on the rest of the players getting those damages. He can't get that elimination upon the player, so he's just going to get into the buggy and just going to get out of there as soon as possible.
Well, I think it is safe to say that Nexri might not make it into the top 9. We'll find out soon. Of course, it is quite dependent on what Voin Donkey and Talon are going to be doing for the remainder of this match. Champion, though, currently holding on to 7th place, starting the match off with 33 points. They only have one player left. Alpha 7 get eliminated as they go out in, well, 13th position. For Alpha 7, not necessarily too much of a concern. They came in with 42 points, so they are somewhat safe. I don't see any of the other teams making up more than that and shifting them out of that top 9. DRX, though, they've worked hard to gain those 3 eliminations. They can't falter on it right now. It's going to be Big Mama to go on down. Champion Esports will not be making it past that 12th place. Out they go. They're going to have to hope and pray that they will stay in that top 9. So you can see a few of the contending teams hot on their heels. Voin Donkey as well as Talon and D Xavier. This is now their opportunity to get that position, to get themselves in to the top 9. Let's see whether or not that is going to be on the board here for Talon, as they do find a bit of an opportunity up ahead. It is going to be Boom, and it is a solo now left on the side here of Boom, and so that could be the play to make.
Oh my god. Boom is going towards their doom with this final player alive. The situation has completely overturned. Boom Esports, they were on the number 5. If they get eliminated here, they're only going to have 38 points, staying on the top 5. Maybe someone will take them down from the top 5 if they are lucky or not, but Champions with 33 points, the situation is not looking good for them. But Talon, if they win this fight out, if they get this elimination on Boom's a player, they will instantly be joining into the top 9 rankings. Oh my god, this singular game is gonna be determining. And there we go, with the 2 eliminations to their name, they have finally made their way into the leaderboard with 27-28 points. But still, Voin Donkeys are alive. They also have 27 points. Single wrong move will determine whether you're still going to be going into the grand finals or not. That's the 3rd elimination that they're going to have. Another team out of the proximity. Boom Esports out of the match. A1E Sports versus Cellcom Digi Alliance. And Cellcom, this is their doom as well. This is their demise right here on the hashtag number 10. With 2 eliminations, Alpha, in fact, A1 manages to secure those decent number of points for themselves. But now, A1, the position that they are in all of this scenario, we have to see if they're also going to be able to like get into that top 9. It's just the fight for the top 9 at this point. For all the bottom line teams, 24 points, 27 points, they have the chance. They have the chance. It's just 29 points you have to secure to get into that sweet spot off that ninth spot, in fact, off that first chart, to make your way into the grand finals.
Well, we'll find out soon who possesses the necessary power. Talon currently just riding on that ridge, as we can see them holding comfortably, sitting there on 29 points total, at least for the time being. And we're about to enter placement point territory as well. So, Kindertrope, curious to see what their approach will be here, sitting with 10 points on. Best thing for them would be to go out and have a bit of fun, right? They have quite a bit of control as to the outcome of this game. If they choose to step up and just go get absolutely crazy, they can take out the teams knocking on the door of that top 9. So Voin Donkey and D Xavier going to be hoping to play a good game right here. As you can see, D Xavier keeping it nice and cautious, not going to be looking to overextend too much, trying to keep themselves out of reach of the rest of the teams. Don't want to be the one to fall next. But here we go. A few shots now connecting across the valley. Nice little bit of reach. Nothing resulting in any kind of turnarounds just yet. Voin Donkey not in such a comfortable position as we saw there for D Xavier. Instead, they find themselves caught alongside the players here from E Arena that have been absolutely lighting up this lobby so far here today.
The situation is looking good. It is good. Voin Donkeys, they managed to get a knockdown, but look at the minimap. There's so many teams in this ruined area. It is E Arena for first and foremost into the front lines. 40 points to their team. So Voin Donkeys coming around into this area, trying to secure more and more points. Voin Donkeys, they're also one of the contenders that needs those points to be into the top 9. And have one at the very least. There we go. It's a confirmation of that 1 point. Voin Donkeys jumping up on the hashtag number 10 as they come up more than 2 points. It's going to be enough for them to come into the top 9 as well. So with the top 9 placements that we have for all of these teams, there's still going to be one more team without even a single placement point for their self if they get eliminated from this point onward. Potato coming back, going back to the corner of this safe zone. And I think he's going to try to rotate from a different direction. Maybe hard north on the other side of the bridge, going straight to the Rosal, coming from the Watertown back to this area. But Voin Donkeys, the rest of the players, they have just decided to push into the location. The Everest Ridge, the very bottom line, the 2 compounds, the 2 areas that there is. Be very careful of this like surrounding, because at any point in time, even right now, there can be a third party. There can be a team that can come just walking into the area, take the fights if they heard the shots, because everyone wants to secure those points. Voin Donkey is on the verge of getting that top 9. E Arena is already into the top 4. Even if they get eliminated here, it's not going to affect them. They're still going to be into the top 9 no matter.
So the pressure is definitely starting now to become quite palpable here, as you can see. Voin Donkey trying everything in their arsenal to secure those points. But unfortunately for them, E Arena is situated a little bit further down the hill, so they don't have a clear line of sight on them just yet. Gagor is going to be trying to reach up the hill. You can see the hedge just poking out between the rocks. But you got to watch out for the rest of the squad that is much, much closer. So where are they going to be going? Now the angles are just lining up here. Players starting to try and reposition. It is going to be Voin Donkey again riding the ridge, hoping for a bit of an angle. Got to watch out for E Arena as they do take their steady angle here, waiting for Voin Donkey to step into a trap. But it does seem like Voin Donkey know a little bit better. They're just going to hang on the ridge line, keeping themselves a little bit more mysterious, keeping E Arena on their toes. Then we have Talon now also swinging into action as they do lock in even more plays, adding to their overall tally. Now it is going to be A1, the next team to get shipped out of here. They will be ending in 9th place. They were able to find 4 eliminations, so that does put them up on 33 points, which is currently enough for 7th place. But as we now have 8 teams left, this is where placement points come into play. So here we go. A very steady approach now. Ooh, D Xavier starting to wake on up. As I said before, they need the points if they are to contest for the top 9. Currently, they still need quite a few more to go. Currently sitting on 26 points. They need at least 31 to catch up to where Talon is. So that means 5 more eliminations is what is required from them. They could find a few easy ones right here. Trope Mark not getting hit. Up comes the push. It is going to be Osan up on the ridge. Beautiful shots. There we go. But D Xavier quickly having to try and patch themselves up. Right here on the edge of Pachinki. Fortunately, no other team in the vicinity, so they don't have to stress all too much. They can prioritize bouncing back. For the time being, though, it is going to be Talon. Also, yeah, trying to just establish their overall score. Focusing up in ruins. Got several teams around them. So need to be very, very cautious. One mistake could cost them that top 9 slot. All right, here we have Axel. Scanning. Hop into the north. Ooh, there we go. 7-9. Starting to move on up. Of course, they've been overtaken again here by ASI8. So both sides now trying to play for the most available points. Axel and the rest of Talon going to try and just kind of ride it on the ridge. Again, not looking to overextend, not looking to overreach. Just trying to make it up into that late stage. Ooh, they do find D Xavier. So quick knock and confirmation following through there. D Xavier down to a 3-piece. E Arena also holding on to 3, but they don't have to